It's KROQ. I'm KROQ. That was Portugal the Man with Live in the Moment. And as promised, James Bay in studio at KROQ. Hello.
Hello.
2 days in a row I'm hanging out with you, James. People are going to start talking.
That's great. Let them talk. They can say whatever they want to say. And they're all right.
So yesterday I got to sit in and hear you talk about your new album and also hear the tracks.
Yeah.
I realized I don't know the title of it. Do you have a title of it?
The album title?
Yes.
Of all the things and the info and the details, there's some things you just want to hold back a little longer than other things. So I'm sorry to ruin that party, but I will, of course, tell you soon. That's
all right. That's cool. What did we came up with? It's good to be James. It's good to be James Bay. Yeah, that was the title we came up with.
That compares to somebody else who said it should be called Nightshade.
Oh, okay.
Which I thought was original, I guess.
We were just thinking of your gajillion Spotify streams.
Cool. That's yeah, cool.
So we don't have the new music because you guys are holding on to that, and I get it.
Soon.
Do you have a release date?
February the 8th.
Okay, and if you could describe, I mean, I heard a lot of the tracks yesterday. If you could describe your album in a few words, how would you?
I mean, there's different ways to describe it, but it's an evolution from who I was before to who I am now and where I'm going, you know. So, sonically, I think it's a new burst of energy in my music, especially on record, because my shows are full of energy. I wanted to get some of that into a record, but like, and the guitar is always involved for me. It's like an extra limb, you know. It's still throughout all of this music, but there's all these other new toys and, you know, crazy analog synthesizer sounds and this smashing together of organic drums and programmed drums, and a very kind of, one of the strange ways that I'd describe it is a slightly sort of slapdash approach to the recording process. There was no great finessing of parts. It was like, that's great. Let's do the next thing and keep that because it's full of feel. Like one or two takes and great, move on.
Absolutely.
There's there's a few things where it's either the first or second take. It's probably the second because the first I probably messed up a line.
Well, for those of you listening, it's James Bay on KROQ, and his, you know, you've gone from a singer-songwriter kind of, you know, your first album, you know, instantly conjures singer-songwriter, acoustic guitar. And then I hear these new songs yesterday and I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. This is like keyboards and layered vocals and choruses and really big, beautiful, fun, upbeat songs.
Oh, thank you for saying that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a better way to sum it all up, let's be honest.
Yeah. No.
I think so. But no, absolutely. Like I say about my live show was a huge transition moment for me. I hadn't played many of those songs in the live capacity, but when the album was being made, I'd played a lot of those songs live, but more often solo. More often me and an acoustic guitar, sometimes with a band or an extra bit of instrumentation. But it wasn't until really as the album, as Chaos and the Calm, the first album, was coming out, it wasn't until that I got to really tour my band. So that's when things really started to transform. And, you know, 2 years down the line from then, just as we were finishing touring, the live show got to this place. It was this raucous, high-energy event. And that's so much of who I am as a musician, especially live. And I wanted to capture that in some way. I didn't want to make a live record, so I haven't made a live record. But I wanted to sort of record with a bit more kind of wild abandon and
more energy. Like it's way, it's up there. Now you cut your hair and you're talking about yesterday about kind of changing your persona, which I love because I think that's what every artist does or hopes to do on each new project.
Yeah.
Do you have a name for him?
No, it's still me.
I know it is, but you have like a lip thing. You're like, all right, this is my Aladdin saying, this is my Mephisto.
2.0.
This is my
2.0. It's an evolution.
Okay.
It's chapter 2.
Okay.
It's nice to feel like it's more exciting to feel like I'm a new character. I'm a new, a new addition of essentially the same person. Because there's reasons behind that. I have a load of fans. I have all these fans, and they are the reason that I get to do this. They are the reason that there was any success to my first releases, and therefore I have to assume I mean something. I mean something to them as an artist, as a musician, as a songwriter, as a performer. So I don't want to deny them that, but I do want to at least kind of rejuvenate it and evolve that person that they've grown with and they are growing with. I think that's an important thing to do, and I think it's the most exciting thing to do for me, definitely. For them, importantly so.
Well, and you're a few years older now.
Right, exactly.
You know,
Even
everybody
that.
changes.
Yeah, I don't expect any of those people that follow my music to be the same person now that they were 5 years ago or 3 years ago. So therefore I completely believe that they understand all of this anyway.
Would you rather I play Hold Back the River or Let It Go? Which one?
No, I can't. How do I choose for my babies?
I feel like Hold Back the River because that was the one that like kind of made everything like start. And there's no intro, so let's just do this. Exactly. James Bay in studio at KROQ. It's Hold Back the River. Like there it is. I got to hear a lot of stuff that you were talking about, like when you played Pink Lemonade. I was like, even before you said it, I was like, oh yeah, I hear like maybe he was listening to the Strokes. Sweet. And then you were like, I was listening to the Strokes.
Sweet, that's cool. That's very cool that you.
But it was just a little. It was just a little like there was the drum. It was like the drum thing. Like it was just that weird like
very angular,
frenetic
sort of college kid.
Yes.
Yeah, that thing. I did that. I can't remember if I said it when you guys were in the room, but the greatest quote, or one of the greatest quotes that absolutely sort of rocked me and kind of. When you hear great quotes from heroes of yours and icons, you go, well, it's not my quote, no, but I'm going to live through it and pretend like it is. And David Bowie's, one of his later lines was, I don't know what I'll be doing next, he said, but I promise it won't be boring.
Right.
And I just think you've got to live by that. Yeah. Especially in this game, in doing what I do, you know.
I love that you are so... You know, I interview a lot of people and we kind of do all these things, you know, with record labels and whatnot, but I feel like you are really hands-on with your stuff.
It's so easy to not believe anybody these days unless they're hands-on, because it's all through here and we're all supposed to just believe it, that they're somewhere doing a story and that's great, but like doing it, you know, posting themselves live or whatever, I think that's great, but you know, if the opportunity is there to come all the way out here, like we did, me and Paul went to Sydney for 2 days to do the same sort of thing.
You guys are mental. Sydney 2 days.
Yeah, for the people, for the you know the important radio folks out there, because they did the work early on. So if we just share it.
No, but I just because I think a lot of times, and I know it's exhausting, and I know it's kind of I get why people don't want to do it, but sometimes it's just like. Here's a record label, take my music, and then you guys do what you need to do with it.
The scariest thing for me is that in 5, 10 or 15 or 20 years, I look back and he says to me, well, you could have done that. And I go, oh, fuck, time's passed. That's actually the scarier thing to me, that I've missed an opportunity to better this ride.
Yesterday when I was listening to your songs in studio, you were talking about doing interviews and how it's really weird because you're talking about these personal things that have gone into your songs. Do you feel like it's sometimes it's like somebody asking you to read your journal?
Yeah. And the fine art to getting it right, that thing that however we describe what we're talking about right now, is recognizing the side to it that is. I don't want to ruin the romance and art of this, but there's a side to this that is a job.
Yeah.
If you get that right, if you get the balance right, then it can come across as the greatest art, and it can have all of the mystery and romance and theatre that it's supposed to have. So, whilst there's always going to be an element of am I revealing enough? Am I revealing too much? As long as you keep chasing and getting the right balance, you'll be in the ballpark, and people will hopefully feel they can buy into it and listen and just
make up their own minds.
Embrace it, exactly. Yeah. Embrace it and enjoy it and make up their own mind. Yeah.
I love it. So you're going to be doing obviously a bunch of tour dates. You're going to be hitting the road. You've been off for a year.
Yeah,
dying to get back.
Yeah, dying to get back out and tour.
You putting that together now?
Putting it together now, okay. And the exciting thing about 2018. Is it's the return, and I think a lot of artists do when they've been away for a minute is they do something. I suppose you call it a kind of an underplay sort of move. You do shows, and they don't have to be the greatest show of your career. They don't have to be the largest show of your career. Right. It's not a smart move to sort of go back in at the biggest goal. I got to a point where it was like anything between 6,000 and 10,000 people at my shows. and they were sold out, and that was all wonderful. So sure, the next move should be arenas. The next move is arenas, but we'll put some groundwork in first. We'll bring everybody back into the fold, bring them in close, and then we'll grow that.
Yeah, that's smart.
It's all got its own purpose within 2018, but it's all also to build for 2019 and keep touring.
And keep going and keep going. Well, I'm really looking forward to the folks hearing these tracks, because I just love the bigger sounding song and the instruments, and it was you on another level. And I was like, wow, you've maintained who you are, but like also took it to a bigger place.
Yeah, which is a very important thing to do. And I'll never leave behind the intimacy that I have in my kind of back pocket as a performer. That getting that across is something that I love to do, and I love to share those moments as much as I love to share more seismic moments on stage and at shows. So I just can't wait to sort of get out there and do all this for the fans again.
Well, James Bay, thank you for coming to KROQ. Thanks you for being really talkative and into it. I interview a lot of people, and sometimes it's like I'm talking to the dead. And